do 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 do. 'Cause I'm late yet again. 'Cause I'm late yet again. Oh, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late. I am the most professional person I know. Very professional. Hello. Hi. Yeah. What? 15 minutes late? Fuck. Oh, great. Yeah, I think I've got everything working now. Maybe we have things working. Are we good? Potentially. Wow, wow. Wow. Hi, how are folks doing? How is anybody doing? How am I doing? I have no idea. But you know what I do know? I know we should probably move over. Yeah. To where? To the main area where we can hang out. You aren't late. Time came earlier. Exactly. Time got here before me. Time got here first. Oh, man. All right, so.
Hello, double voice Himawari.
Hello. Ah, man. Double voice Himawari. I love how Talon is being hidden. There we go. Streaming right in the middle of the VTubers Awards. Yeah, I know. Because I already am here. And while we're there, you know, I actually forgot that those are happening today, aren't they? Hold on a second, those are happening today, aren't they? Fuck. Damn it. Those are happening to... I thought that was next week. That's today. That's right now. That's like right now. An important event like the Oscars, the Nobel Prize, and it's like Christmas, but with less Jesus and more... Son of a... I was like, yeah, no, this is gonna be great. I'm gonna tell people about voice acting, and it's just, hey, remember that VTuber award show? Remember how that's a thing? It's like, no, I don't. Nope. Oh no, I feel like a tourist. As in, I want to eat a tourist. What? Cannibalism? Anyway. Hello, everybody. I guess I seriously thought you would have streamed earlier. I don't remember it existing! Well, I remembered it existing, I just remembered it being next week. Apparently, I'm about a week off of everything because I thought my dad's birthday was next week. I thought that the streaming awards were next week. I thought a lot of things were next week. I thought I told you. You may have. You may actually have. However, that doesn't help because I forget everything very quickly. So now I feel like an ass. Dementia! Son of a... The streaming awards are today. Fucking hell. They're right now. They're right now, right now. Right now, right now, right now. Right now. Himawari tourist confirmed. Yeah, I guess. Son of a... Oh, no. Wait. Hold on, wait. Maybe it's showing up at the end. Maybe I'm starting like as that ends and it'll be fine.
Hey, you're hired.
You're hired. Yay, welcome. Hello. Hello, Neat. How you doing? Welcome. Point and laugh. No, in the middle. No! So I should have been even more late. I should have been like even more late. And then I would have been fine. Oh, no. I'm full with sorrow. Oh, it started an hour ago. It's supposed to last 3? I should have started at the old time, shouldn't I? Okay, so you know what? We're gonna keep going anyway. Hello, I'm Himawari Kotetsu. You may have heard of me before, you may not have. Most of the people here are classic viewers. However, I have no doubt in my mind that there are going to be some people who show up just because it's some voice acting type stuff. And you're either watching this as a VOD or you're watching this live until the moment that you realize that the VTuber Awards were here and then you went off to watch that instead. Don't worry, it's fine. I know how that goes. It's great. Himawari opened his ice shop just as soon as it started snowing. Yeah, that sounds about right. You're like the dude with the handmade drums outside the red carpet. Exactly! I'm sitting out here. Also, speaking of handmade drums, I forgot my hands. I forgot to turn on my hands. Listen, it's okay. We're gonna get through this. So I am a voice actor. I wouldn't say I'm a great one. I've been doing voice acting for about 10 years. That sounds about right. Maybe a little longer. Because apparently I am a terrible judge of time. So for all I know, I could be sitting here finding out that it's like I actually started like 12 years ago or 15 or whatever, and it wouldn't make a difference to me, because, you know, voice acting is a thing that I've been doing for a long time. It's something that I have been passionate about. It's something that I have gotten a lot of help with, and it's something that I have enjoyed. Over the years, you kind of figure out how to make sure people's ideas get across in a way that is well cared for, passionate, and gets across the idea they're trying to go for. If you'll forgive me, I'm trying to set up motion capture stuff so I can gesticulate with my hands. Gesticulating with your hands as opposed to gesticulating with your feet? Yeah, gesticulation is where you do hand gestures. The act of gesturing. I have broken something almost immediately. So as you can tell, I'm a highly professional individual who has a lot of experience, and during that experience, I figured out some different issues. I'm not sure if these are issues that other people in the industry have, but they're issues that I've had. These issues tend to be a series of different clicks and the like that crop up inside of this that kind of locks you into specific genres. There are... Certainly typecasting really does exist. There's a lot of people who try to say that it doesn't, but typecasting can be a major issue. For a long period of time, I was typecast into the sector known as industrial. And also other bits and bobs that I had to do. Where the heck is my little... I am missing a thing, and I'm very sad about that. What are you? Hold on, wait. What are you and where have you come from? You are there. I used to do a lot of work safety videos. I used to do a lot of scientific industrial videos, things like that. I spent many years of my life locked inside of that group and having to work in. I've also done some minor work in terms of gaming. I've done some work in terms of machinima, fan animations, modifications for Skyrim, Fallout, Fallout New Vegas, Fallout 3. Oblivion. Does that mean like Trent Reznor? No, industrial, like things with industry work, like safety videos, product videos, things like that. A lot of that requires a very, or at least used to, require a very specific sort of cadence to it. These days, a lot of what I used to do is no longer in high demand. There are a number of actors who have supplanted that kind of style that I use. The classic advertisement voice does not really get used by anybody anymore, which, you know, is kind of my problem for trying to lean into that, you know? These days, you want more conversational, you want more focus on the person rather than some sort of big, booming voice. You want to be able to make it sound like you're just talking to somebody. A lot of voice acting comes down to manipulation these days. The modern voice actor is less somebody who is actively selling you a product, and more somebody who is manipulating you emotionally into blindly trusting that individual as if they were your neighbor or your friend, lying to you on multiple fronts, and building you to a point where you will buy that product because you think that that person is your friend. It does a manipulation of the classic psychological elements, and has come down to a bit of a science with that. There are many scummy ways to do voice acting, and there's many ethical ways to do voice acting. It all depends on what kind of route you want to go with that. Did you do security videos for energy plants and stuff? I had a couple of contracts like that. A lot of my stuff was work safety. A lot of my stuff was the really boring just... Hello, everyone. Today we are going to be covering the act of heat syncope and its sufferings upon your life. Every day you may find yourself getting a little bit overworked, and usually the problem is that you haven't had enough water. Boom. Is that why I stuck around? You sold me on this stream? I don't really like doing that stuff. It's not really a focus for me. I prefer more passion sort of things. I like the Micro Machines stuff when I was growing up. When I was a younger boy, we used to have the actual Micro Machines man who would go rapid fire. Boom, 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 boom. The Micro Machines script stuck into my head. I was a big fan of that sort of high-octane, high-intensity delivery, which took me towards trying to do a bit of the old auctioneering. Auctioneering is fun. You get a good cadence, you get a good rhythm. And I thought that going in that route might help me. I also thought that radio might help me a little bit, but guess what? Radio actively teaches you things that don't work for voice acting anymore. And it kind of sucks, and it took a long time to get myself out of that headspace and out of that sort of educational minefield? Yes, minefield. There is a lot of changes that happen in the industry pretty much all the time, and if you're going to be doing any sort of voice acting, you need to be keeping up with that. Getting a firm understanding on how to adjust with the times, grow as things change, learn new skills, and build yourself into the kind of an actor who is going to actually get work. I have never been fantastic at that, which is part of why I haven't really gotten nearly as much work as I probably should have. One of the big things you need to remember with this stuff is a lot of it will come down to networking, right? The old phrase, it's not what you know, it's who you blow. Or in this case, who you know. In order to get a job in voice acting, because it is a massively overcrowded market, oversaturated, much like VTubing, you have to be able to know people who are already doing fairly well, so you can have people who vouch for you. Sometimes that can be going to retreats, sometimes that can be going to like little meetups, lessons, that stuff, but you're trying to build connections so that you can grow forward and have people know who you are and be willing to work with you. Because there are so many people flooding in from so many different angles that it's almost impossible to get any work unless people know that you're willing to do several things. They need to know that you are willing to arrive on time, you need to deliver quality work, on time, consistently. Those three things are the most important things for a voice actor, no matter what else changes, right? If you are not able to deliver the work by deadline of a regular, consistent quality, not much else is gonna matter. Not much else is gonna matter. There's not really such a thing as a bad voice. There are more in-demand voices. And voice acting is different than voice over. And neither of those requires you to have a good voice. And let me tell you right now, you're not going to have a good voice starting out. Basically, while we're going through here, we're just going to be hitting some light ideas. I don't have a sort of planned out thing for here. We don't have an itinerary sitting on the side. But I am going to be mostly dropping character here. I'm not really going to be inside of the me character. Instead, we're going to be focusing on some actual business, which I think will be fun, you know? There are radio hosts who only do that specific voice, usually their normal voice, not the most varied in the world. Well, variation is not as easy as a lot of people think. People think that if you can do a Bugs Bunny voice, you can do this impression, you can do the Arnold, you can do this, you can do that. Can you do emotion there? Can you do sad? Can you do happy? Can you do angry? Can you do these subtle variations on that that actually make the acting stand out? Voiceover is not voice acting. The two things have two very distinct feels to them. But even in voiceover, where you are not doing a character per se, you are still doing a character. Your character just has to be more you. You want the authenticity, you want that firmness, that established layer of just consistent, friendly sort of banter type thing. There are certain areas that require more professionalism, some of them require more familiarity, a sort of willingness to pull off the intimate side of things for the discussion. It's on a case-by-case basis, because more and more that line between voice over and voice acting is getting thinner. It used to be back in the day, you had the narrator voice. They've basically assassinated that, where you would be doing this firm sort of stylization of your talking, where you'd have a specific sort of cadence, and everything you'd be going through here would be establishing the scene before you. You may have a firm discussion, you may have a firm talk, but overall you're keeping a steady and stable cadence. This sort of voice is effectively dead, and this is one of the main things that I was getting paid for as my bread and butter. These kind of things are not about high emotion, they're about relaxing you into a scene and getting a specific feel across. There are so many of us that have moved on from this who have become hate-filled over this. The second they hear it, their eyes gloss over and their brains gloss over as well. But you can see that there's still something in there. It's not just talking, it's building. And one of the big things that we're seeing these days is, as I said a little bit ago, that firm establishment of the idea that you have to be believable, that you have to manipulate these data points and build something that will scientifically force somebody to trust you. There is appeal to authority fallacy that comes into a lot of this. There's appeals of all kinds that basically people will sit down and try to statistically figure out the human condition so that they can know that almost every time you will react this specific way like a machine. And so we can forcibly manipulate you by doing X, Y, and Z. Hiding the fact that you're watching a commercial, hiding the fact that you're doing something of that style. What am I talking about with some of this stuff? Well, I'm mostly focusing on the most common form of voice acting, which is not character acting. A lot of people will go in and they'll say that character acting is like the common thing. No. Commercials. Commercials, commercials, commercials. Commercial work is gonna be most of your stuff, and these days they're trying to force it to be more like acting a character. Doesn't really work. They're trying to get you to, in many cases, they're like, no. Be you. Be authentic you. But also, while you're being authentic you, copy this exact movie style. But we want you to be you. But we also want you to be this character. But we want you. And that comes down to a major issue with all of this. The industry doesn't really seem to know what it wants to be. We've seen a lot of distracted focus, much like I'm distracted focused here in my sort of discussion on this topic. Your primary jobs are always going to be advertisements industrial work, the boring shit, right? The 9 to 5 voiceover. These days we're seeing a lot of companies switch over to artificial intelligence, and considering that we already had a mass wave of everybody thinking they could do voice acting, now you have to compete with your own voice being rendered by some AI, the people who sell their voice to the AI, and the people who are already working all these different elements and aspects of it, to the point where there are certain ways of talking in certain people's more traditional voice acting types that will just have people accuse you of being an AI, and it keeps happening and getting worse and worse, because anybody who actually uses the traditional methods of delivery is just an AI now. That's all people think it is. And you have to really stand firm and stand out from this stuff by figuring out new ways to get around this stuff. Is voice acting going to die in the next 5 or 10 years? No, but I will tell you that it's actively going to sweep the floor out and stop people from being able to get better. Because how do you get good? You practice. How do you practice? You get the low-level work, you get those simple bread and butter jobs, and those are the ones that are going to cover you from one job to the next. But we're seeing the floor for entry cranked and cranked and cranked and cranked by groups of people who hate the idea of other people being successful underneath them. We're seeing that there are less and less jobs for people just starting out, right? And that's intentional, because if everybody's fighting for the very top jobs, they can screw over the employees. Every single time. Like, when you look at this stuff, it's about screwing over the people who are actually doing the hard work so that you can force the smaller and smaller group to get richer and richer with this. And there's, hey, if you're good enough to be up there, hey, you got up there, right? Like the people who talk in the intercoms at the train stations and metro stations. Yeah, no, that's a fantastic gig. It's nice, it's easy, it's quick. It's something you can do. It would be something to get you a nice early start, gets on a resume, and gets you to the point where people can start recognizing your work and saying, hey, I know that guy. I heard him here and here. He was working there. It's a steady sort of job. It's a good paycheck, and now that job's gone. They'll throw it to an AI instead. It's like, okay, fine. So we try to find another job. Except you have a glut of voice actors, right? Audiobook gigs as well. They're also getting eaten. Like, audiobooks, you can get into audiobooks and you can get some good stuff with audiobooks, but nowadays we're starting to see the end of the era of audiobooks, where it was a nice, cushy job where you could just, hey, I'm not getting paid much per line, but I'm doing a bunch of this. I add in some emotion here and there, some basic narration. The standards are going higher and higher and higher for what the bare minimum is, to the point where it's untenable. And you'll notice that the quality of actors is crashing as AI is getting better, because the actual quality actors are getting drowned out. And it's kind of a big issue, you know? It's a big issue. Now, am I any good at any of this stuff? Well, who knows? You know? You could voice the framework for a character because the actor didn't come in that day. Do the voice framework for a character because the actor didn't... Yeah, you could do some of that, but even some of those gigs are now being replaced with AI. And that's a sad thing. But, you know, I mean, eventually, a lot of jobs are going to be replaced with AI. We saw people getting replaced when they were automating the car production, when they were automating almost anything. There was this big push to automate literally everything, and they found out that a lot of the so-called simple jobs are the hardest to automate. Burger flipping and that kind of stuff, like actual like low-level entry jobs at like a McDonald's or restaurants, things like that, they couldn't really automate the actual making of the food. They can automate the check-in, the check-out, but then they're going to have less sales in general because the actual face of the company does a lot to help sell, and upselling is a thing. There are many situations where people think that they can automate out the human element completely, and it'll fall apart every single time, because AI cannot create new from scratch. It can cobble together existing, but it will never be able to genuinely create something completely new. It'll get pretty close. It'll get close enough eventually that people don't care. But when you run out of data to feed it, it's gonna get shit. It's gonna go to hell, and a lot of AI can't unlearn something. You can't rip something out of the neural network. And one of the things that we're noticing with a lot of these artificial intelligent voice actors and whatnot is as you try to get the AI to not do things, it's gonna fall apart, it's gonna go insane, and it's just gonna stop functioning, and you gotta do the whole thing over again. Fresh training data, the whole 9 yards. AI can, again, have fuck-ups with voice, with accents, as has been described in chat. AI is not going to be right away the big replacement here, but again, the majority... I don't think it'll turn evil and kill us, because that would require it to come up with something new. And it can't really do that. It'll just use the data that it already has, and then run into issues and make shit up. Make shit up. When it has something that it doesn't understand. AI is bad in terms of like actual usability long term, but what it can do is replace the majority of the mediocre actors, the bad actors, the people who just don't really know what their footing is right now. And there's nothing wrong with being a bad voice actor. There's nothing wrong with being a low-level voice actor, right? There is nothing wrong at all with being a starting voice actor or an actor who doesn't really know what they're doing yet. Everybody's got the opportunity to get better. The problem is... Let me give an actual real-life example. There is a job that I will not be discussing by name that had 850 applicants. Okay? This is a job that I was assisting somebody else to look through the applicants, right? This job in particular had over 850 applicants for one role. Out of those, we were immediately able to get rid of 400 of the applicants right out the bat because we were just able to figure out, okay, who's got background noise, not even acting, just noise quality was so awful. Then we were able to knock off another 300 right off the bat just because you listen to the first few seconds and you already know, okay, nope, 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 nope. We were able to knock people off immediately because of the quality of their microphone that they had listed. We were able to knock people off just constantly, dropping them like flies, because there were so many people who maybe they had a terrible microphone, or they had a good microphone but they just sent generic copy instead of anything we had them auditioning for. They didn't sound right. It's like, this is just like your first thing. It's like you realize how little is actually anyone giving a damn to try. And as we were whittling things down, it's like, okay, so these people are actively lying about what mic they're using, which was a lot of people. Like, a lot of them were just lying about their microphone and thought they could do some audio engineering to make their Blue Snowball sound like a U87. And you're not going to. There are so many scumbags and scammers out there who are trying to apply for professional jobs with dog shit equipment. There are so many people out there who are trying to apply for work that they will never be able to do, that it floods out people. AI is going to get rid of a lot of them, or rather, you'd think it would. You'd think it would. A lot of these cases, we are coming down to the idea that... Excuse me. Somebody's immediately ruining my flow. I'll be right back. I will be right back. You know, I wish that more people would understand that just because you have the key to my house for medical issues, like in case I'm having a medical problem, doesn't mean you can stumble in the middle of a recording session and demand my attention. You don't live in my house. You have that key in case I have medical issues. Why are you jumping in with my recording light on into my studio to talk to me about inane bullshit? Oh, man. Sorry about that, everybody. Hello. Hello. I am back. Imagine hearing the audio from a Logitech and the screeners hear the peaking. Oh, yeah. No, that people have done this stuff all the time, you know? They keep doing this stuff. Did they come in like, hey, what you doing? Yeah, pretty much. And it's like, hey, there's that sign right there on the door that says recording in progress. There's the big red light. Maybe don't just wander in. Because again, I don't live with other people. I live next to other people. And they have keys for medical emergencies. Oh, damn it. I hate when that happens because it ruins the flow. And believe it or not, flow is actually very important for being a voice actor. Because you need to actually genuinely get in an emotional state that is similar to your character. Ideally, you'd want to be not doing method acting, like punching yourself in the gut to be in pain, but you want to be able to go, not how would my character feel, but how would I feel, then getting yourself in there. So it is really important to basically take the extra thought process out of the acting and make it more natural. Imagine dressing the audio from the Logitech and the screeners, hear the peaking. Yeah. There's a lot of really unusable audio. And as Augustin just pointed out in chat, right? Getting a voice acting gig because your mic is better than the other dude is a very common thing on the lower end. At the higher end, it's not as much of a thing, right? One of the big things that a lot of people run into with the voice acting stuff is they go, oh, geez, I shouldn't spend any money on a mic. Or they go, I need to spend so much insane amount of money, you know? Places where you don't want to go when the red light is on the recording studio, the particle accelerator, and the nuclear plant core. Exactly. So, let's take a moment here. Roll back the tape a bit, come back towards things, and try and get back into a rough understanding of these situations. So, hello. Hi. A lot of times, you will see contradictory data when it comes to people trying to give you voice acting advice. Everybody's got their own advice, and the majority of it, like assholes, that also everyone has, stinks. The majority of the voice acting advice is terrible. Some people will say, you don't need any mic at all, you can just grab whatever off the shelf and go. No, you do actually need a semi-decent microphone. And while the price of the microphone may seem insane for some things, in many cases you can get a pretty damn good microphone for almost nothing. The Shure SM7B is a lovely little starting microphone. Do not stick with it long term. It is a starting microphone that you use. The more expensive microphones, like my Sennheiser MKH416, these are more expensive microphones, but they'll be workhorses that you can use for a decade easy, right? And they won't break. They'll keep working. They'll keep going day in, day out for years and years and years. Whereas your low-end mics, you may replace every 2 or 3 years. And by the time your nice microphone that you thought was too expensive breaks down, well, you would have had to buy 12 or 13 of the cheapo mic, paid just as much if not more, and had a lower quality microphone on top of that. That said, price isn't everything. You can get lower cost microphones. You can get certain things that are in a more reasonable time frame. One of the biggest things you need to worry about is not even the microphone itself, it's the environment. You need to make sure that you are properly dealing for acoustics and you are properly dealing for sounds around. The more noise you can pull out before your microphone even records it, the better off you'll be. In a lot of cases, we see that there are people who will have the really, really nice microphone, but when you're listening to the audio, when you're sitting down and you're hearing what they're doing, it kind of sounds like this, because it's like they're recording inside of an empty studio and it's bounding off everything. I mean, everybody likes this, right? This is what we enjoy, isn't it? No. No. Treating your room for echo and other sounds is not expensive, and it's not difficult. You spend your decent money on your microphone, and you can just, if you already have a house with a walk-in closet, right? Yeah, you can hear the TV in the background and stuff as well. If you already have a house with a walk-in closet, you are so much further ahead than anybody else. Because I'll tell you right now, keep all your clothes in that closet, load up the damn closet, even if it's not a walk-in, if it's just something that you have enough space to either sit in or stand in, you can load up all around you that clothes, and guess what? You've done about as much as the guy who spent $20,000 doing all that extra soundproofing. Crazy. I know. It'll be hot as balls. You won't want to work in it for a long time, but it'll work. Yeah, you can also buy a shitload of acoustic foam for like $40. Yeah, no, it's not difficult to get this stuff. And if you're willing to like carve it yourself and get the geometry going, you'll save even more money. If you're getting the stuff pre-made, you're going to be spending a bit more. You ideally, in many cases, are going to be spending way more money for worse quality by going with the pre-made shit, because voice acting, like VTubing, is a game that is rigged against you. Amateur rappers record from the closet. Yeah, and they do just fine quality. I would actually prefer a guy who has a really nice, let's say he's got a U89, right? That's a $4,000 microphone. But he's got a closet that's just got clothes in it, you know? I'll take that over the guy who has a Blue Yeti but spent $20,000 on foam. You know what I mean? It's not that... Your environment is one of the most important things in the world, but the environment isn't expensive to get set up. Your environment is very important, but you don't have to spend a fuck ton of money on it to make it important, you know? To make it quality, to make it good. You also have to remember, how much was my microphone? My microphone? 1,200, now it's like $800, I think it is. Well, sorry. When I got it, it was 1,200. It dropped down to 600. Then it wound up going up to, I want to say 1,200, and I think it's dropping back down again. The reason this one stays fairly stable is this is the standard for Hollywood for many years. This microphone was used in the recording of Skyrim. This microphone was used in the recording of a lot of different video game environments, because this microphone, I can put it at a cubicle, put some basic foam behind me, and it won't pick up any of the noise that way, any of the noise that way, any of the noise that way, which improves the quality of my sound by hitting exactly towards my mouth. Now, the downside of that is I basically have to have my face roughly at the thing and be talking across it, right? That can cause some genuine issues. Like right now, my tracking failing. Thank you, tracking. This can cause some issues, this can cause some problems, but it lets me spend less on my environment while having a roughly pretty good sound. The raw audio from this thing is nice, it's good, it's got that crispness to it, it sounds good, but it is a bit too clinical for many people. Many people. That's why most of my actual acting, outside of the old... you would have multiple microphones, right? Most of the acting, as opposed to the voiceover, would be done with a Warm 87, which is a knockoff of the U87 from Neumann. Neumann's U87 is the standard and has been for a long time for microphones on the top end. Well, the high end. We won't say top end. The U87 and the U89 are used interchangeably depending on your vocal profile. Usually I'm more of a U89 than I am a U87, but that microphone is about $4,000 United States dollars. 4,000 to about 6,000 depending. However, if you're getting the warm 87 instead, you're paying about 1,000, right? And again, it's not going to be the exact same profile, but it'll be close enough for most people. It'll be classic. It'll be classic enough, you know. It'll close enough. It'll be a good quality. It's a very good microphone for the money. And again, you're not going to really replace it for like a decade or more. So it's not really, it's scary at first, but I would think of it less as if you're buying a graphics card and more as if you're buying a car. You know what I mean? Because the car, you're going to be expecting to use it as a workhorse for a while, maybe about 10 years or so, before you move on to your next one, right? And yes, you can buy that clunker for $500, or I guess now it's $1,000. But that one's going to require like a lot of replacing, and by the time you've gotten to the end of it, yeah, you would have been saving money by buying the one that was more new, right? Brand new? No. Jeez, no. But the ones that are close enough? Yeah, no. There's also emulator mics, which I don't think are going to catch on, but I think when those crash, you'll be able to get them for fairly cheap. Emulator mics do a raw sound, and then you can sort of fix it in post and change what microphone it's using. Any audio engineer with a salt is going to know the difference between the actual one and the knockoff. So don't try to sell yourself as the actual one, but if you're getting a knockoff, it's going to be good enough. You know what I mean? It's going to be good enough. I like to think of Himawari is in a Soviet-type bunker streaming and eating polemi. Crackers with butter. Yeah, not as far off as you might think. Not as far off as you might think. That is a story for another day, but not as far off as you might think. Man. So, with a lot of this stuff, remember some key factors here. The majority of the work you're going to be doing is going to probably be commercials, it's going to be industrial type work safety, these sort of things. Not your anime, not your, like, cool cartoons like Bugs Bunny and whatnot, because there's just not enough work of that. And yet there's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of commercials every single minute. There's all these different commercials from all these different regions. There's all these different work safety videos. The problem is, as we're seeing now, the commercials don't want you doing commercials anymore. They don't want you acting as if you're in a commercial. They want to try to be a TV show. They want to try and raise the bar higher and higher and higher. We're seeing artificial intelligence being used to try and make entire commercials from the ground up because the slop that they're shoving out the door is so low quality that the AI looks like it's the same thing. If an AI can make your product wasn't very good. I'm gonna be honest with you. If your product can be made by an AI, it wasn't a good product. Sorry. That's radio ads. Yeah, radio ads. Those are also really good. And hey, just remember, radio doesn't carry over to a lot of the other sectors. It does not. Radio can be very, bolstering, I guess, would be one thing to say about it. It can bolster your opinion of how your quality is, I guess. And that can be a bit of a problem, you know? Because there is a lot of cases where you'll think, I'm tough shit, I'm the best there is, I've got this, I can handle this. And you're gonna run into somebody who actually knows what they're doing and get crushed. I will say that will happen no matter how good you are. You're always gonna have somebody else who comes by and crushes you into a fine powder. Don't be the guy who crushes somebody into a fine powder. Be the guy who learns and always understands there's a bigger fish, and strive to be that bigger fish. Strive to learn what that bigger fish has done. Because if you are spitefully looking at the bigger fish instead, you're gonna get eaten. You're just gonna get devoured. You're gonna get destroyed. But if you're going to the vocal gym, if you're building yourself up, working yourself out, and learning this stuff, you're going to be in a lot better position in general. Remember I wanted to study cinematography just to make commercials and music videos. Well, you would have had a lot of work. You would have had a lot of work. There's always commercials. Not as much always music videos, but actually, yeah, no. There are so many music videos being made. Yeah, no. Professional VA work is harder than being a live actor. I can say that, yeah. Yeah, I can fairly easily say that. It can be. Both can be. I would say that they pose their own unique challenges, right? One of the upsides about being a live actor is that you have your body to use with you, right? One of the upsides about being a voice actor is you don't have to have your body. So you can do things that make the sound better without worrying about looking correct for the actions. Sometimes what is going to make a good voice sound is not what will make a good physical acting performance. There are many cases. Does voice VA method acting exist? Yes. Is it good? No. No. No, it's not good. There are people who will literally get themselves beat to hell and back to do an injured acting. You can do that without hurting yourself, but I will tell you right now, when you're acting, when you're doing voice acting, you're kind of lunging about, you're moving about, you're building yourself, you're enunciating clearly. In a lot of cases with voiceover work, the actual motions of your mouth, the circles, the shapes that you're making there are going to be alien to any of the conversation you're having. A lot of microphones will sort of eat your emotion. It goes into the mic and it's lost. And because you don't have that body with you, because you don't have that physical sense on screen, right? You are going to run into situations where you have to carry it entirely on the back of your voice, and many times when you're doing that, you're having to force yourself through, right? Force yourself into these situations where you can build the emotion into the words. You can effectively overact it without acting it. And it sounds really high and mighty hoity-toity, but that's one of the things you gotta do. You also have to learn how to work with other people. You have to learn how to work with what you're given. There's been a lot of professional voiceover scripts I've been given where I won't have the rest of the script. I won't have a character brief. I won't have the ability to talk to other actors. I will not have anyone else's lines that I'm supposed to be talking to. I've just got my lines isolated. And sometimes that can work fine because I'm just like, okay, I will give you every single take I can think of this line, and then you can piece it the fuck together. Many times, though, they will specifically just go, no, 2 takes. Or, we want 1 take, give us your best take. Most of the time, they're locking you down to 2 or 3 takes max. Almost always, they don't want you to do more than 2 takes, because that's a waste of their damn time. They want to get in, get out, do it right. But man, there is some suffering involved in a lot of that. Heard some stuff about Microsoft Office going. Overboard review. That's not what this stream is about, my dude. That's not what this stream is about. This stream's about voice acting stuff. We can talk about that on another stream, but right here, we're talking about VA stuff, voiceover, voice acting, things related, and stuff like that. There are a lot of elements that kind of get lost in translation, from voice acting to screen acting to theater acting. A lot of the skills that are... Yeah, save that for tomorrow. We can actually talk about that on tomorrow's stream, because that'll just be a gaming stream, you know? There are a lot of... how do I put this? There are a lot of skills that are insanely important for being a screen actor that won't translate at all to being a stage actor. And there are a lot of stage actor skills that won't translate to screen actor, and a lot of skills from either of those that do not translate to voice acting. And a lot of these things that you're learning when you're doing your screen acting, your stage acting, or your voice acting will actively hurt you when you're trying to do one of the other levels of acting. Because it's about learning your medium, it's about understanding how to work with what you have there, and putting forth the product that needs to be put out, you know? I think that there's a lot of people who will say, well, voice acting, it's just talking, right? I understand why people feel that way. I do. It is very understandable. It's wrong, but it's understandable. It's not just reading a script. It's not just talking. It's trying to understand how to know each and every word. There's a classic practice voice acting thing, you know? It is the phrase, oh geez, I'm trying to remember the exact phrase. It is, did you get the book from John? I believe is the exact one. Which could be said many different ways, and if you just have it on a script, you'd be surprised how many ways you don't think of. Did you get the book from John? Sorry, did you get the book back from John? That's it. Did you get the book back from John? Did you get the book back from John? Did you get the book back from John? Again, there's so many different ways, and it's just written, did you get the book back from John? There's dozens and dozens and dozens of different ways to deliver that send a completely different message, which is something you don't really have when it's a book. You don't have it in almost any of these other cases, and unlike the physical acting, you're not looking at the other person's body cues, you're not looking at... Usually you're working with a director. Sometimes you're not, and that sucks. But it's one sentence. Hey, did you get the book back from John? Hey, did you get that book back from John? Yeah, there's so many different ways, and again, most of them aren't what anybody wants or will ever want. The vast majority of the ways to deliver that sentence will never come in useful. You have to learn as a voice actor, who is my character? What is my character's history? What is my character's motivation? What is the surroundings here? What is the previous sentence that was just said? What have I said in the previous words? Your sentences, your delivery cannot be in isolation. Your voice acting cannot be in isolation. You need to be sort of forming a sonata from each of the individual notes. The notes form a stanza, notes form a progression, form a stanza. You know what I mean. You're building one step upon the next. And the second you sit down and isolate, you failed as a voice actor. You can't isolate your acting, because when I'm talking to you, there's context between my sentences. There's a flow, there's a rhythm, there's a music to every single word I say. And if I was just suddenly to start isolating them and acting the way a lot of people act, well, you would start feeling like something was going wrong. And I can't even force myself to do it incorrectly. You need to have a emotional arc, I guess would be one way to say it, an emotional flow, a musical stanza, whatever. And I think that there is a lot of merit to be had in just sitting down and reading out loud to figure out how it sounds, you know? Did you get the book back from John? Oh, sorry, wait, hold on. Did you get the book back from John? Did you get the book back from John? Yes. Dead or alive, dirtbag, you're coming with me. John has the book. Did you get the book back from John? Yeah, but and actually, in that example sentence, if I'm just standing perfectly still and I go, did you get the book back from John? That's going to sound different than, hey, did you get the book back from John? Because I'm kind of leaning, I'm overacting, I'm doing these sort of things. That's not like great acting, but it's something that already, just by doing a little bit of movement, a little bit of getting into it, can really help. There is a form of method acting, I guess you could say, that you can do with voice acting, where you're like, hey, my character's sitting down? Okay, I'll sit down. My character's standing up? I'll stand up. My character's dead tired? Well, I'll do it when I'm getting ready to go to bed. Not necessarily going out of my way to get myself tired, but it's right before bed, so I'm going to naturally be tired from my day. Has my character just woken up? Well, then I'll do the lines when I first wake up, because you gotta understand, through the course of the day, your voice is going to change. Your voice will not be static. It won't. Like, there's no escaping it, right? There are ways you can kind of fake it, but the best way to fake it is to make it authentic. That's why we've got things like the Swiss cheese theory, which is a thing from theater that has been brought over to voice acting. The idea is that you have... My character just got run over, I'll go turn my car on. No. Your character just got run over? Well, think about how you'd be reacting to that. This plays into the Swiss cheese theory stuff, right? Swiss cheese theory is the idea that what you have in front of you, when you have a script, is a canvas that has pieces missing. Pieces are blank on the artistic canvas. You have this block of cheese with all these holes, and you will never be able to have the exact cheese that fits those holes. So, what do? Do you just give up? Well, the closer you try to get, the more it'll look off. No, what you do is you pull from the character you are best at. What is the character you're best at? You. You are the best person at playing you because you know everything about you. If it's not established, if you don't have it there, well, for right now, fill it in with you. Not how does my character think about this situation? How do I personally think about this situation right now with these facts that I understand added on top? If I am dealing with somebody who just got run over, well, how do I react to that? You know what I mean? How am I handling that? How am I dealing with that situation personally? And if you've got information that sort of tells you more about the character himself, fantastic. You can use more about him. If you know a rough personality draft, you're like, okay, if I am still me, but I have these changes made, how do I change it? Because you're trying to get that genuine emotion there, you're trying to get that genuine thing there. You're not just playing a character, you're not just playing make-believe, you're genuinely shoving your headspace into there for the duration of the script. And ideally, you'll want to be doing the lines that are similar cadence, similar scene, at one flow. Instead of just going, I'm reading a line, no, I'm going to do it over and over again on that one line, then I'm going to move to the next line, over and over again, next line, over and over again, next line. No. Do a flow. Go split the entire scene. If the camera goes off your character, if your character's no longer involved in that sequence, you can start again. Try to get through the entire thing from the start of your scene to the end of your scene in a flow so that even if the person you're bounding off of doesn't work out, you yourself are still start point, middle point, end point, connective tissue between. So you can track, if you're watching, exactly what your character is thinking as he goes through. That is very, very important because flow is one of the most valuable things that you can have as an actor. 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 Flow is one of the most... As an actor. You see, even if you cut open those audio, even if you get it, you can still understand that even if I cut these little bits here, it's never gonna flow because I did stop and I went back. And even if I'm chopping these bits up and shoving them back together, there's gonna be no flow. What happened there is an example. Because I'm showing you the genuine flow of a conversation, and then I'm showing you how it sounds when we cut it, merge it, and shift it, because your natural inclination is gonna be, nope, I messed up this bit, I gotta do this one line. No. No. Do the whole flow. Keep it working. Keep people able to feel the progression of the conversation. If your character's getting angrier, start out low and build. Crescendo, crescendo, crescendo. Building, growing, showing. These are very important things. And again, we oftentimes forget how complicated just having a conversation is. That's part of why, when you're just doing a generic voice, a generic impression, emphasis, yeah. The emphasis has to be on the right syllable. You know, the emphasis has to be on the right syllable. No, emphasis is oftentimes something that is lacking, as well as flow, as well as understanding. Anyone can read a sentence. Anyone can read a phone book. An AI can read a phone book. Can you understand the meaning? Can you divine what's behind the words? And if there's nothing behind them, can you add something behind them? Can you build something out of that script? Even a bad script, a terrible script, can be delivered phenomenally if you, the actor, are inserting into that moment, into that script, a deeper level of meaning. Is the director gonna love it? Who cares? Who gives a fuck? They brought you on, right? Did you get the audition? Cool. Sweet, you're in. Cool, do the job. If it sounds right, if it sounds good, cool. If your director asks you to change something, change it. But don't expect them to know what the hell they're talking about. I'm just gonna be honest. Don't expect them to know what they're talking about most of the time. Especially if you're getting started at the low end. When you're doing fan projects and other things, your director knows jack shit. The writer had a basic idea, the director has a different idea, if you even have a director. Most of the time, the people you're going to be working for don't know shit about the actual audio engineering. They don't know anything about writing a script. They don't know anything about anything other than, hey, I need somebody to do this thing. It needs done. Can we get it out the door? And that is a genuine issue that we're running into, is that we're having incompetent actors taking direction from incompetent directors on scripts written by incompetent writers. And now we've got artificial intelligence that doesn't understand a single damn thing about a person other than just some basic pattern recognition, that if anyone actually was able to recognize themselves, we'd do better, because the computer doesn't really recognize patterns as well as a person does, unless they've been brainwashed not to recognize patterns. Woo. So now you've got a guaranteed bad writer who's just mediocre at best because he can't create anything new. You might have a director if you're lucky, but how long before they make the director an AI? And you got an actor who can't take direction. The AI can't take direction. That's not gonna be a shit show. It is. It is. A proper symphony has a conductor, has musicians, has a structure that is working in, and it is not simply the act of notes being hit. It is not simply the act of doing the exact note at the exact timing. There is so much more than that. There's an artistry, there's an understanding of when to follow the rules, when to break the rules, when to do as you're instructed, and when to do something completely off-board. And there is a season for everything and a thing for every season. Most of my understanding on these things comes from a biblically backed perspective. I focus on the ideas that are provided to me through the Bible, right? And that's not for everybody. Well, actually it is for everybody, but not everybody's going to go that route. I see this stuff, and I see an understanding in a way that is very similar to how the Bible is supposed to be read. That idea that you have the words that form the sentences, that form the verses, that form the paragraphs, that form the pages, that form the books, that form the Bible. Everything is connected to everything else, everything flows to everything else, and you can't take any of it on its own without completely changing the meaning. When you're reading a script, the best way to have it is to memorize your script, have your understanding of the script, analyze the script, tear it apart. When you are reading a script, when you are learning from that script, you are going to sit down. If I have a one-page script, how many pages do you think it is by the time I start acting? Like, legitimately. Do you think I just sit down and I start reading and I start going? No. What I do what you should do is you sit down and you go, okay, I'll do my raw read. Okay, now let's try and understand what's actually here. Reading comprehension is one of the best skills for a voice actor. Sitting down and going, every single bit. Analyze, analyze, analyze. Note the fact of what is being written versus what the purpose of the written is. Because even if you don't have a director, you can still get purpose out of it. Even if you have no one sitting there directing you, no one sitting there educating you and growing you on these things, you can sit down with your piece of paper and go, let's see the sentence, you know. Did you get the book back from John? Okay. In an actual script, if I'm lucky, I've got the rest of the production to understand. Even if I don't have the rest of the script, I know the genre, right? I know the genre. If I know the genre, and I can watch a bunch of the genre, I can know the average general feel of the thing. If I can figure out the feel of the rest of the script, if I feel the rest of the scene, I can get the emotions that are trying to be getting across. Because every single scene is a series of interactions that are doing a point of some kind. Whether that point is, there is no point, like a Seinfeld or a Cruelty Squad, there will still always be a point, even if that point is to try and eschew the idea of a point. Anything will have a point. You can't escape it. Sometimes it's an unintentional point. Sometimes it's something contradictory to what the written word appears as on the front of the page, you know? You need to tear apart a lot of this stuff to get the best acting out of it. And a lot of people, they're doing that, and they will sit there and tell you that they're not because they don't actively think about it anymore. A lot of times when you're dealing with this, you're seeing people who have been doing this for so long that it just fits in the back of their brain, like, as Augustina just said, Neo in the Matrix, downloading the script in your brain. They're just like, they're automating so much of it that they don't realize the hard work that they're putting in. Because their brain is a human brain, and the human brain is designed to do things as efficiently as physically possible. We take shortcuts, we take connections, we take skips. It's not always healthy, it's not always helpful. Some people have better brain setups than others in terms of efficiency. There are individuals who do not need to do vocal warm-ups. There are. There are individuals who do not need to tear apart the script line by line. Those individuals are so rare, I'm going to tell you right now, statistically, you aren't one of them. I don't care if you think you are, statistically you're not. Could you be? Sure. But statistically, you aren't. And the statistics, yeah, there are outliers, but they're usually pretty much on point. Sitting down and looking at the script, knowing your genre, knowing your target audience. Who is this script for? Who is going to listen to this radio drama? Who is going to see this commercial? Who is the intended audience? Who was it actually written for? And who is it going to be picked up by? What is happening in the scene? Who are the characters in the scene? Why are they at this point? You're effectively a writer when you're a voice actor. You are basically writing all of the extra bits that the writer cannot put down, cannot tell you. The director can't really get into the writer's head and give you everything. And if you have a guy who's a writer and a director, that's going to be a problem as well, because he's probably not going to be thinking about some of this stuff. A lot of the extra bullshit that you can throw in there can genuinely help your stuff to get your head in a space where you can do the acting, you know? Be like the Golem actor who also did the Lord of the Rings audiobooks. Well, that can work. Didn't he actually, like, lock himself off and drive himself insane? But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, you need to, if you're doing hey, let's actually talk Lord of the Rings here. If you're doing a Lord of the Ring project, and you want to be a character, well, get an understanding of the general feel of what a Lord of the Rings book is. Well, how's a Lord of the Rings book work? Well, it generally has this style, has this feel, has this, has the other. Okay, how about your director? What does he normally do outside of this? Well, we know that we'll say Peter Jackson, right? Well, Peter Jackson did these sort of action things. We've seen, like, he did a previous movie here and here. We know that he did these Lord of the Rings movies this style, so he's probably going to want to do something similar. We know the book has this feel here, here, and here. I can take this stuff there. I know my character has this brief. His personality is X, Y, and Z. I'm missing this, so I know how I would act in this rough situation. Now I can finally look at the actual script for the lines themselves. All right. We are inside of a tree, surrounded by ogres. Okay, fine. All right. We're in a tree. We're surrounded by ogres. They're screaming at us. They're going to light the tree on fire. I know that I'm with my friends. I know the rough feel of this. I know my target demographic is going to be the kids who grew up reading this stuff into adults. I know that the original one is aimed at children. I know that I'm in this tree, and I know that the funny little birds with their funny little things song, I know the feels. I know the history on this thing. I can actually do this setup in a way that has this context built in the back of my mind, and I don't want to think about it actively. Just like I don't want to think about the script itself actively. I want to passively have that understanding. So I've memorized my script. I know my history. I know my stuff around it. I know my character. Now I can actually inject my lines into that scene and build something special. And that takes a fuck ton of time. But you know what? When you can do it correct, when you can build it in and you can grow something out of there, you can reach in and pull out gold, you will have work up to your eyeballs. Is that the only way to go about it? No. You can also sleep your way up to the top. And then you can skip most of this. You can have some family member who's already popular, and you can get away from most of this stuff, not have to do the hard work, coast your way through, get just enough to get some generic work here and there, make a shit show out of it, and then call it a day. Or you can work your ass off. You can build, you can grow, you can learn, you can accomplish. And even if it looks like it's shit on the way up, yeah, you can be born rich too. But even if it looks like it's shit all the way through, even if you're stuck doing dog shit work that you hate for a long time, strive, work, grow, improve. Every single day. And by the time you get up there, by the time you put your foot down and you build yourself into that market niche, yeah, you'll be at the exact same place as the other guy. But I'll tell you right now, you're going to have so much more content. Actual content. It won't even necessarily matter that the other guy cheated his way in because you did it the right way. And believe it or not, sometimes, to a certain degree, the right way of doing things can be a reward. Especially when it works out. Don't be thinking that it's guaranteed to work out, because it's not. It's not. Even being born rich isn't guaranteed to work out. You know what I mean? It'd be like the local band who played for years until they got a big gig. Yeah, no, most of the local bands didn't. Because they saw the big bands, and they went, hey, no, we can't do that. All these other people are cheating their way to the top. We can't do it. Who cares? You are the local band. You are doing these things that you're passionate about. It's not for the money. It's not for these things. The money's nice. Treat it seriously enough to know that you want to make the money at it. Don't worry too much about selling out. Why? Because selling out is how you can afford to do the stuff that you enjoy. Selling out is to a degree, is how you keep the music alive, is how you get the money to be able to advertise, to get more people to see what you're doing. Have a smart understanding of the proper time and the proper place for these things. And know that if you do it the right way, you will be so much happier with where you are. As long as you're not looking at the guy who cheated. Don't look at the guy who cheated as your guidance, as you're like, oh, if I would have just cheated, I would have been like him. I would have gotten to his level. I would have been like that so much No. The other guy doesn't matter. This is not a marathon race. This is a time trial. And you're not going up against him. You're not going up against Kevin Conroy. You're not going up against Keith David. You're not going up against any of the big actors and actresses. You're not going up against Tara Strong. You're not going up against anyone but you. You are going up against you. You are getting better than you were, And if you stick at it, if you genuinely want to do voice acting, and you genuinely stick at it, and you work smart, you work hard. Is that a Dune reference? If you work your ass off in a smart way, not just working to work your ass off, if you do it smart and you learn on a regular basis, you will be successful enough. You're not going to be the biggest thing on the block, but I'll tell you right now, if you're doing that shit, you're going to be successful enough. You know, you might have like an average working wage. You might not have yourself in the biggest credits for the biggest movies, but as you're learning, as you're growing, as you're improving, you might have yourself some steady regular work as an extra, or as maybe even a lead in some smaller projects, some things here and there. You take the victories where you can, you do what you can. Yeah, be like Picasso, not Dali. Salvador Dali, no. Picasso, yes. But working hard on its own, even working hard at voice acting on its own, won't do shit. Because you can be the best man on Earth, and if people aren't willing to hear that you're the best voice actor on Earth, well, you might as well just be the rando in the corner with his blue snowball microphone, throwing applications at the wall and wondering why you can't get work. You need to do some advertising, you need to do some networking, you need to meet people, you need to work, you need to learn when to shout, you need to learn when to quiet down, you need to learn these things because they're very important, right? And these things are not easy to learn. There's a lot of other things that will be just coming out at you from the sides that are just going to attack you out of literally nowhere and are going to kick your ass. And there is a lot of random chance, a lot of luck. But as I've said over and over again, one of the key things to remember is that with luck, you can manage it. You can rig the luck in your favor. You can. And that's how you actually get successful, is by putting in the hard work and the smart work. You need to learn that forklifts are dangerous. Dude, I'm falling apart. Good night. Well, take care, Neutral. Sorry I can't stream earlier, but hey, maybe we will be able to. As you learn, as you grow, as you build, as you educate, you get yourself in a better spot. And you learn better how to make the choices to put yourself in these positions where you can have that good luck. Maybe that's by going to one of these actors' retreats. Maybe that's by taking some lesson. Maybe that's by taking some shot on some project that may not go anywhere, but you're just taking it for the funsies, and you're taking it to hang out, and you're still putting in your hard work. A lot of the times, that's by treating whatever gig you're working on as if it's going to be somebody's only ever experience of you as an actor. If you're working on somebody's lame little video in the corner of the internet that's like some kid's first ever cartoon or what have you, treat it like it's the biggest gig you're ever going to have, because put your passion into it, put your work into it, and somebody might see that silly little know-nothing thing that's going to blow up and become one of the biggest things on the entire internet for a little while, even though you sat there and thought that it was going to be nothing. Maybe that little project with just still images that you thought was going to get shut down by copyright is actually going to turn into a major production that everybody's going to look to and be quoting for ages and ages. But you can't know that. And if you put in half-assed effort, quarter-assed effort, even 9/10 effort, instead of your full hog everything into it, your passion and your ingenuity, there are going to be people who will only ever know you for that half-assed work. There are times when you will have that job that you just thought was worthless be some casting director's only ever experience of you. And if he's impressed, it might get you work. And if he fucking hates it, he may never listen to anything else you put out. He may see your name on a project and go, oh, he's the guy from that half-assed bullshit. Here in my country, we say a phrase that translates to, you have to believe the story, as in your own hype. Well, believing your own hype can also be very dangerous, right? You have to try and understand when to view your hype while also taking in your failings, taking in humility. Be humble, be understanding, but always give your best. You are not better than the project you're working on. You are not better than that Lego animated video or that kid's cartoon or whatever you're working on. You aren't better than that. You're not. I don't care who you are. You are there for the project. The project is not there for you. Humility is very important. Very, very, very important. So is networking, risk management, luck management, reading comprehension, communication, timeliness, dedication, and more. All of these things are important aspects, and it sounds super complicated because guess what? Any form of employment is complicated. Whether you're doing level design, whether you're doing game design, whatever you're doing, remember that there are so many different layers to it if you want to go into it, and you don't always have to go into all of them at the first, or the second, or the third. But if you can go into them, if you can understand them, and you can understand when the season for these things is, well, you're going to be in a lot better spot than you were. You are going to be so much better than your competition. You're going to be so much better than yourself if you hadn't. For example, with the vocal warm-up stuff, right? With the vocal warm-up stuff, there are people who just don't do it and they sound great. But I'll tell you, the second they actually do vocal warm-ups, they sound so very much better than they ever do without them. But they don't feel the difference, so they don't do them anyway, or it takes up too much time and they skip it out. Ever enjoyed voice acting that was in a language you didn't know shit about? Yes, many times. There are plenty of projects, be they in French, be they in Japanese, be they in... I believe there was one that was in Russian that I listened to that I really like. I like Stalker, and some of the voice acting in there is just incredible, right? Some of the voice acting in Stalker is incredible, right? There are so many different wonderful and beautiful acting deliveries that can transcend the actual words themselves. Because a lot of times, the phrase rings true. It is not what you say, but how you say it. You know? Found Angelique, great animation and voice acting too. And there are magical voice acting experiences where you don't have to know any of the linguistics. You don't have to know the language to be able to do a good job of enjoying it. Sorry, words. Brain scrambled a little bit. Apologies. Are sandworms dangerous? Yes. But only if you don't follow appropriate safety precautions. Everything's dangerous if you're not careful. Hey, this dude sounds badass. Yeah, you can see, people can sound badass too. Dementia. Everybody brings it up. Thought you were a sandworm. No. But yeah, a lot of times when we're looking at this stuff, we get ourselves a little bit lost, a little bit distracted. And we kind of have to parse out so much extra data that you can't really understand without just taking a moment and just calming. Re-examine, stress all you want, but sometimes step away, you know? Just step away. And when you come back to it, you're going to feel a lot better, you know? And you're going to have a fresh look on these things, and you're going to have a fresh way to understand it. So, we've done enough, an hour and a half of just talking about VA background and some general advice in a not too particular order. Let's see what we had turned in in terms of ideas and feedback. Oh, hey, we've got a few of these that have been submitted. Let me see here. Well, we've got a video for Pippa Correction Story. Pippa reads about Animal Crossing. I see some of these. Some of the 16 suggests these readings don't have the original text is located, only have the videos. I will go with those in a little bit, but right now let's go through some of the stuff that's been suggested here. Now, I was gonna have a... I like Conrail, it's like that one schizophrenic friend. Oh yeah, it's adorable. It's adorable. You gotta have at least one or two of them in chat, you know? Let's see. So, we've got the first one here. I'm gonna read through it quick, and then I'm going to try doing a little bit of voice acting with it. Can't promise it'll be great, but I'd say that little description has warmed me up a little bit. Hey. Oh, hey, one thing I will say, make sure before you do any voice acting, you drink plenty of water. Like about 2 or 3 hours before you do the voice acting, drink plenty of water. And then make sure as you're doing it, you're having an occasional bit of water. Preferably not too hot or too cold. Kind of just right, maybe a little bit warm. Let me see here. Works for singing too. Yeah, it does. It does. And there's actually a little bit of overlap between voice acting and singing. Just a little bit. Not as much as you might think. Google just told me my location has been confirmed. Am I about to be drone striked? Yes. I'm sending a drone strike to your house right now. Let's actually go over to game time and let's grab one of those wheels. Yes, let's grab a wheel. Yoinko. Let's grab ourselves a wheel that we can spin, and I can put in some delightful voices to be able to do. Let's see. Wheel spin. Let's try and figure out what are actually some voices that I can fairly confidently do that'd be fun to just do for an exercise. Because I did want to do a wheel spin on some of these to try and just do some fun little reads. Picker wheel. Ah, that's the one that everybody does. Yeah. Okay, cool. Alright, let's see. We will go back over here, and we will get a capture. Ready to go. Ready to go. Where you want it? Ready to go. Our base is under attack. Low power. Alright. So we got this thing. Let's see. The terrible Russian accent. We'll put that on there. We'll put the terrible Southern accent. Put the orc. Put the orc on there. Cowboy one? Yeah. That's the Southern one, the generic sort of Southern United States one. Let's see. You know what? No. Instead of Southern, we'll just put cowboy. Put Russian, we'll put orc, we'll put cowboy. Normal. What do we got? What are some other ones that I can do pretty well? Space Marine? Yeah, sure. Space Marine. That one's just gonna be filters. It's gonna be silly. So we got Russian, orc, cowboy, normal, Space Marine. You know what? What are they called? The grunts from 40K? Or the grunts from 40K, the grunts from Halo. I saw you say a 40K one. We got Space Marine and we got orc. We can put the grunts from Halo. Grunt from Halo, that could be a fun one. You know what? I'll just put some silly ones that are just vocal filters on there as well. That'll be fine. You know what? I will just put that as ring modulator. Alright, those are some different options. Homer? I can't do a Homer Simpson one. You kidding me? I can't do Homer Simpson. You kidding me? I'm awful at that. Marge! Oh. Yeah, no, I can't do that one. What's another one? I could do my stupid Morty impression. Rick and / or Morty. There you go. Because that'll be timely and definitely not dated at all. Old dude. Squeaky teen. Yeah, that one will be good. Ah! Old dude, squeaky teen. Yeah. Any other ones we want to put on there? I can't really think of any other ones I want to put on there. Gotta do RoboCop. Dead or alive, you're coming with me, dirtbag. Sure, we'll put RoboCop on there. RoboCop. He is a robot. He is a cop. Alright, let's see. Shuffle. There we go. Hide. View import exports. We got 11 options on there. I need one more. Trying to think about any other voices I can really do. That I could just do on the fly. Taco! We've got RoboCop, Rick and Morty, normal, Russian, Space Marine, old dude, orc, grunt, ring modulator, RoboCop, squeaky teen, cowboy, woman? Nope. No thank you. You know, though, I do have something that'll be equally terrible. There you go. Uwu has been added onto the list. All right, let's go for it. Okay, let's see. Wheel of Morality, turn. Tell us the lesson that we should learn. What do we got? The ring modulator. Okay. Sure. All right, let's do the first one in here. We'll go in order. I don't have the Pippa reads ones in text form. But we will start with the there are actually only 2 genres of high fantasy. And this is going to sound awful, but you know what? Let's do it. It's fine. Ring modulator. Turn that shit on.
Welcome to my story corner. There are actually only 2 genres of high fantasy. Once there were more dragons and more magic in the land, but those days have long since passed. Perhaps the dragons shall return someday and bring about a new era. How the fuck do we get rid of these fucking dragons?
Fucking hell. That's fucking awful. That is... wow. Good old ring modulator. The best choice. Definitely a good idea. For actually just reading it regularly, there are actually only 2 genres of high fantasy. One where there were more dragons and more magic in the land, but those days have passed. Perhaps the dragons will return someday and bring about a new era. And how the fuck do we get rid of these fucking dragons? Both easy ways to do it, and again, you can have like 6 or 7 different deliveries on there. Normally what I would do when I was doing this sort of thing is just go, examine what's the general feel there. Happy and wistful about something that's no longer there versus angry and agitated. So we would actually have the cocksure comment there. The cocksure comment there at the start. If I was looking at the actual image, I would pick the southern voice like I did there. You have this sort of like, well, there are actually only 2 genres of high fantasy. And then you would go down to, once there were more dragons and more magic in the land, but those days have passed. Perhaps the dragons shall return someday and bring about a new era. That sort of joy, that sort of wistfulness. That's just one of the rough ways to go about it. And then, how the fuck do we get rid of these fucking dragons? As just that intense, that sort of, you know, fantasy-free music. I'm just gonna leave this on in the background. The quietest little background music. The quietest background music. But you can see how it's like, you can even like do these half-assed things without really thinking too hard about it, right? Alright, let's try this again and keep going down this rabbit hole of mistakes. This is a terrible idea, and I should have stopped it a while ago, but let's keep going and see what happens. Yes. Oh, wait a second, I forgot to grab the audio. I forgot to grab the audio for the Brave source. Or were we actually capturing? I don't know. Did you guys actually have audio there or no? I don't think you did. Okay, let's re-roll it real quick. We'll get through all of them. It's just a matter of like what order. An orc. So this next one is explaining the proof of the Jordan curve theory as an orc. As an orc. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me just grab that real quick so I can show it on screen. Open in browser. Thank you. Save image. Wink. Thank you. Wait a second, I don't need to. I've got it right here.
Proof of the Jordan curve theorem. The Jordan curve theorem states that a non-self-intersecting continuous loop in the plane, i.e. a Jordan curve, divides the plane into an interior region and an exterior region. Alright? Jordan curves, not Jordan curves. Okay? Bangalore Ravi Kiran's energetic latest based optimizations figure 4. Yeah. Alright? We shall use proof by fucking obviousness. It's a closed loop. Of course there's gonna be an outside and an inside. Humans have been making borders and fences for millennia, and it still needs to be proven. What the hell am I supposed to say? It's so bloody obvious. It's like trying to prove 1 + 1 = 2. Why is this even a theorem? Not even worth to be a lemma or a corollary, to be honest. A trivial ass bitch. And this includes, or concludes, the proof of this theorem.
That's almost more Imperial Guardsman than it is Orc, but you know what? They're basically the same voice. They are basically the same voice. Alright. Sweet. Yay! I'm actually going to grab the Pippa one. Let me see here. What do we got? Low effort clips. What, you got low effort clips here? Okay, I am not going to... I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? No. 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 No, we're not reading that one. Stop it. Oh, we're gonna hit awful shit, aren't we? How? Alright, what do we got next? Alright. So I'm actually gonna roll this one twice so we can have 2 voices. Actually, you know what? No. We'll just roll it and we'll see what we got. Oh wait, normal. What? The second Pippa one is so cursed. They're both cursed, you kidding me? Alright, let's spin. Spin. What do we got? Halo Grunt. Okay. That's gonna be awful. Let me see if I can do this one proper. This one's literally just... Should I do the one with the actual, like, filter pitch shift that they did inside of Halo? Or should I just do the regular voice? Because both of them actually require a fair bit of acting on that. But I never know. Yoinko. Spoinko. Let me just see here. That would be... That'd be up here. The difference is between,
Hey everybody, how's it going?
and...
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's me!
Because I'm not really sure...
You know what? I don't even care anymore. We're just gonna do it up here. Hi there, Eddie. How you doing?
Alright, let's do some voice acting on this. The second is awesome? Okay, fine. We will do the second one.
Knife thrower throws her blades at me, but I, a sword swallower, swallow them all perfectly. Eventually they run out of knives and I begin my first round of attack by spitting them back. You fool! Now they have more knives to throw! Oh God! They've got so many knives!
I love adding extra shit. Yeah, that's one of the big things I gotta worry about when I'm doing actual VO, is not adding a bunch of extra shit. Show that PP. No. What do we got next? Alright. Roll the wheel! And see what we got. And what do we got? I'm not even sure how to do this one on this one. Alright. Okay. Sure. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Okay. We've got some green text here. Let's see what this is like. Ah, fucking hell. You know what? Hey, excuse me a second. I'm gonna see real quick. Can I actually just... Can I put it in an uwu-izer? I'm gonna see if there's a regular text to uwu translator that I can use here. Yes, we will translate from regular text to uwu speech. Let me see here. What do we got? Uwu-ifier. There you go. Mm-hmm. Let me see here. Let me see here. What do we got? Where's that green text? Proceed. It's fine. Domain blocked. Nope. Damn. Can't find the green text. Ah, well. It's fine. I'll just try and translate it on the fly. It'll be okay. What's the worst that could happen? This is the worst one. Yeah, no, it is.
Wild West history be like ball-stabbing Emmanuel McCoy, the Angeline Des County skullfucker, rode into the town of Deep Throat Gulch, hoping to sell a rabbit he had caught. On his way to the saloon, he twacked mud all over the favorite smoking pot of half-Chinese Jesus Smith. the Comanche Waping Dandy of Dwyball Basin, prompting the latter to challenge McCoy to a duel at 3 nanoseconds past the dawn of the second Tuesday of the weekend.
Nope.
As was local custom. Hello? No. This is not that voice, but you know what? It's fine.
I can't do that voice. I can't do the Uwu speak. You kidding me?
The two gunslingers met at the agreed-upon hour in the famous Piss-Dwinkle Alley. McCoy, who lost both of his arms serving as a barber in the 11th Hunkapo Rebellion of 1888, had to shoot his piece by affixing it to his dick.
The one special kid in class. Yeah, let's not.
McCoy was shot in the toe and died of syphilis.
Yeah, let's do FUD.
McCoy was shot in the toe and died of syphilis the next minute.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's actually just read it as Elmer Fudd. Hold on.
Wild West history is what be like. Bar stabbing Emmanuel McCoy, the Angelinades County squallfucker, rode into town of Deep Throat Gulch, hoping to sell a wabbit he had caught. A rascally wabbit. On his way to the saloon, he twacked mud all over the favorite smoking pot of half-Chinese Jesus Smith, the Comanche Waping Dandy of Dwyball Basin, prompting the latter to challenge McCoy to a duel at 3 nanoseconds past dawn on the second Tuesday of the week, as was local custom at the time. The two gunslingers met at the agreed-upon hour in the famous Piss-Dwinkle Alley. McCoy, who lost both of his arms serving as a barber in the 11th Hunkpapa Rebellion of 1888, had to shoot his piece by affixing it to his dick. McCoy was shot in the toe and died of syphilis in the next minute. Now, Victorious Smith would go on to enter American myth by single-handedly raping the entire Akawa tribe in 1896, the following year.
Yeah, no, that is a decent FUD. That is a decent FUD. So we know to change Uwu to Elmer Fudd. There we go. There we go. All right, that was awful. Let's see. So that's the next one we've got. Another green text. Another green text. And who do we have for the green text? What do we got? What's our terrible idea? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Just some old guy. All right. All right. That's fine. That's fine. Well, let's have ourselves a talk. Chinese history be like, Shaolin takes power, 247 million perish. European history be like, Count Baron Kaiser Werner, Fildinger Fingernicker, von Hosenwagemajigger marries his half-sister. Wiserinia, now local Nylas, while Zakorsky of Globzer triggering a war between King Juan Jose Maria Rigoberto Aguirre de Santo Domingo di Labonico and Pierre, establishing the Grand Duchy of Nieuwe Oekensteinsburg as a tax haven with a population of 16. What? I can't hear you over the fact that my tongue just exploded. It literally just exploded. All right, what do we got? We need that homie that does the good Iceberg Slim impression. Yes, we do. We do. He's so much better at acting than me. Please, continue to shove that in my face. Yes. Ow. No, he's a cool dude. Okay. Okay. I see. I'm sorry. Augustin, the fuck is this one you said? The fuck is this one? Uh-huh. Augustin, Do we need to have a talk? Do we need to have a talk? Like, Are you okay? I said I'm sorry. You're not sorry yet, but you will be. I'm not even sure how to do this one. Are you kidding me? I'm honestly not sure how to... This is awful. What the heck? I don't know if I'm doing that one. It's very long, and it's very bad. Mostly in terms of destroying my brain. Apparently it's someone from France attempting to write English. It shows a lot. I leaved instructions. It's true. It is true. You did leave instructions. You left an enclosed instruction book. I'm gonna be honest. Not sure how I feel about it, man. If you read this, do it exactly as written, without laughing. I'm not sure if I can, but you know what, we'll try. Sonic to a car. So Sonic to Luck, but Tails. Not a Tails, but a Knuckles. So which is it, Tails or Knuckles? Maybe it's Knuckles. So Sonic to Zoom in a speeding, but not fast than a speed. So speed, so Sonic locked up and stole a car. To increasement his speed. Let me get this straight. Sonic who stole gimmick is... Ah, I see. So the bold text is the actual. Then the other bit is that. That's gonna be the problem there. I'm gonna not read the director's commentary. We're gonna read just the original. Sonic to a car. So Sonic to Lock. But Tails not Tails, but a Knuckles. So Sonic to Zoom in a speeding, but not fast than a speed. So speed, so Sonic locked up and stole a car. To increasement his speed. This is the default voice for your brand new automobile. But police come and jail of Sonic, so Sonic a jail. No, say Sonic. Jail, so a jail was Sonic. But Tails paid a bail, so Sonic was not a jail. With this stuff, I can't. I've got to just read it seriously. Give me a second. Instead of doing our silly little thing, let me just back out from my own gimmick and just try to read this professionally. The fact that it has commentary. Yeah, the fact that it has commentary does make it difficult, because it's supposed to be, welcome, friends, to another mind-numbing edition of fanfiction theater. This story's author is unknown, but apparently is someone from France attempting to write English. It shows a lot. Sonic to a car! So Sonic to Lock, but Tails, not a Tails, but a Knuckles! So, which is it, Tails or Knuckles? Maybe it's Knuckles? So Sonic to Zoom in a speeding, but not fast than a speed. So speed, so Sonic locked up and stole a car. To increasement his speed. Let me get this straight. Sonic, whose sole gimmick is that he was a hedgehog that runs really fast, needs to steal a car to increasement his speed? Either Sonic is down on his luck, or that must be some car. But police come and jail of Sonic, so Sonic a jail, no, say Sonic. Jail, so a jail was Sonic. As punishment for stealing a car, the authorities appear to have opted not to put Sonic in jail, but turn him into one. A hard concept to grasp, so here's an honest depiction. But Tails paid a bail, so Sonic was not a jail, but a car to steal. Oh, my bad. Sonic wasn't a jail, he was a car. Disregard previous image. And no one trusts Sonic from a car steal, so no. So Sonic do not creation trust, and no trust does he contain. Creation, so no trust, but not. And so of the landing, a trust to fly away that Sonic the criminals. So Sonic back in jail for sure. So Tails no have the bail. And Knuckles not paying. So the Sonic's in the jail to stay. If anyone can find any sliver of comprehensibility in this paragraph, please tell me. But robots! With no Sonic, robots took the city, and soon police go, we want a Sonic. Out, so a Sonic was out, was war. Sorry.
But robots with no Sonic. Robots took the city and soon police go, "We want a Sonic out!" So a Sonic out was. Sonic go out, so Sonic was out. But much of Sonic. So then Sonic destroyed the robot of his power, but then Sonic was much. So there was not many of those. So Sonic deleted the robots, but the deletion of the files was corrupted. AND, there was a computer virus. There was bad, but Sonic could no fix. So bad. Sonic tried to technology, but no do, as Sonic no schools. So Tails to look, but virus were everywhere. It millennicism, and so virus. But Tails makes Spanner and virus gone.
I thought this story was about Sonic stealing a car, but now it appears to be an alternate version of events in which Y2K actually destroyed the world.
Knuckles did no understand the computerings, but workings. So Metal Sonic making a new virus to spread. But the virus comes alive, and out of the computer.
Oh great, it's Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase all over again.
No Sonics to saving. So Sonic does no look from the virus, but virus to eat people.
You heard that right. Somehow the computer virus is now eating people. Y2K was going to be a lot worse than people imagined, it seems.
Sonic in make shock, but Tails and Knuckles to relaxing. So much for the plans of Sonics. So Sonic to attack virus and virus to attack, but not. So virus to rejection of much attackments, but no workings because...
Out of Sonic becoming a jail, virus eating people and more, the part of the story that stands out the most for me is that the author believes because is a complete sentence.
So the virus go back to destroy. So Sonic to attack, but no failing. So the virus were gone, but not for long. But no long. For the virus laid a baby virus.
If you thought the idea of a virus eating people was bad, well now it apparently has the ability to lay a baby virus. Whatever that is.
The virus to run around, and more destruction was create. So Sonic shut down all technology, and was loosed. Loosed. The virus to run around, and more destruction was create. So Sonic shut down all technology, and all was loosed. But for Sonic, make an army, so he made a protection.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should never steal a car. If you do, you'll become a jail, then a car steal. Then Y2K will happen, and the virus will lead people to make baby viruses, and finally you'll destroy all technology, but it's okay, because you can make an army. So you made a protection. See, maybe I'm not ready for the wheel yet. I'm not ready for the wheel yet. We'll figure it out over time. I will grow, and I will become ready. Because remember, no matter how much time I've spent, no matter how much effort I put in, I'm only as good as I am. Ah, man, let's see. I think I'm not going to do the wheel. We're not going to do the wheel. The wheel, you know what, I'll spin it one more time. I will spin it one more time. And then I will slowly grow to be able to handle the wheel. What? Sure. What? Sure. Hello, Darth. We're doing silly little voices that are for things that people put in the chat. What is this? Hold on a second. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what? Ah, okay. It's a poem. Sorry, my brain was like, wait, is this a script? Hold on. And now among us in the flesh, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, alive in person, who after 1,977 years of religious silence has kindly condescended to attend our spectacular Easter services, to delight grown-ups and children alike with wise and timely witticisms. Old Jesse needs no introduction, being well known throughout the world. One need only speak of his glorious death on the cross, followed by his no less spectacular resurrection. Let us give a big hand to old JC. Thank you for the applause, even though I know it's not for me. I may be ignorant, but I am no idiot.
There are certain public speakers who will stoop to any depth to drum up a little bit of cheap applause, but I forgive them. I realize it's innocent and all in good fun, but they shouldn't do these things. Sobriety is superior to jest, especially when it comes to the gospel. Let any mock or laugh at me who want to. It won't be the first time, but never at all GSC. I leave the last word to you. Yeah, no, that is genuinely a really good poem. That's cool. I like that. All right, and that's all we got sent in other than the two really weird Pippa ones. And you know what? That's 2 hours of thumping. Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah. No, that was all the things I had turned in. And my wheel idea fell apart because I was like, I can totally do these voices. Though I suppose it really does illustrate a point that I was making earlier. So you know what, let's use it for that. As you can see, right? As you can see, just because you think you can do a voice doesn't mean you can't. I can get overly cocksure and go like, yeah, I can make a voice, I can make some sounds, I can do some little bits and bobs, but to actually be able to do a voice is to be able to have it in different emotions, to do it in things that you may not be familiar with, to still be able to tear something apart and come out the other side with a bit of variety, right? Now, while I can shove my voice up a little bit higher or put my voice a little bit lower, those are fairly easy ways to keep it because you can still do the exact same emotion in those different ranges. Doing actual comedy voices or character voices can be very difficult to be able to get it any sort of professionalism, you know? It's difficult, but nobody said voice acting was easy. And it's not easy, it's hard as balls, you kidding me? That is not really, well, what we just did is not really, I would say, proper voice acting because I didn't take out a bunch of the extra time to be able to go ahead and grab every little detail that I wanted to on there. And I violated my own advice on a few different spots. But you'll see, even if I did, we still had a result that was, fun, you know? I think that really with a lot of voice acting stuff, and a lot of stuff in general, you can kind of find out where you stand on it fairly quickly. And it's always gonna be that you're worse than you think you are. And if you are better than you think you are, phenomenal. Keep thinking you're worse, and then keep improving. Always improve. Always improve. I left you another one. You left me another one. I'm glad somebody put these in. Ah, yes. You know what? This one's incredible. This one's incredible. I have to share this one. This one might need a little bit of vocal warm-up, though, to be able to do properly. I'm not sure. Ooh, jeez. All right, let's see. Let's see. Can I do this one? Okay. I'm not sure. This one seems really difficult. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Be me. Yep. Be me. Be me. Be me. Be movie. Be movie. Yeah, no, I don't think I can really drag this thing out much longer. I don't want to necessarily drag this kind of stream out all night. This is going to be a short one. Nice and quick and easy. Even though 9 p.m. is usually when people start showing up for the stream anyway. Which is funny to me. 9 p.m. Man, oh man. So yeah, the B-movie script. Do you want the B-movie script? I can do the B-movie script real quick. We can go through the B-movie, and it'll be kind of funny. Idea for another stream. Are you sure another stream? Huh? Boom, ba-dum, ba-dum. Boo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Do we have to do another script, or will we do that another day, or will we do that here? We go through the entire B-movie script. I have a feeling, right, that I might get in trouble reading the entire B-movie script. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna grab the B-movie script, copy pasta. Now let's grab the B-movie, the entire B-movie script.
Wow. Heck yes. Holy crap. That is a lot. According to all known laws of aviation, there should be no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. You see how it's doing that little static thing? That's why you normally need to sit down and examine it all the way. Because you're not just reading it, you're building it, you're growing it. I can just read it, fine. Right? Like if I'm just sitting here going, according to all known laws of aviation, there should be no way a bee should be able to fly. Its wings are too small to get its fat little body off the ground. The bee, of course, flies anyway, because bees don't care what humans think is impossible. Versus actually practicing it, working. You ever spend the entire bee movie script in a lobby? No. Though that would be funny. And I think I actually heard some people do it, but I wasn't super active online when that was really big. I took some little breaks to just kind of lock myself in my own head for a while. Times are different. Times are better, man. You kidding me? I'm sad that I kind of isolated myself for so much of the internet. Anyway, I think despite the fact that it is early, despite the fact that I know people would start showing up about now, I am probably going to toss you guys over to somewhere else inside the vast void of the internet. And let's see, I've got one viewer on Twitch, so we're probably not going to toss anybody over there. And I don't really know how to toss people on YouTube, so you know what? I'm just going to go off and relax. I'm going to enjoy my evening. If anybody got anything out of this, hey, sweet. If you didn't, yeah, well, at least I had fun. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for being amazing. Short stream. Very short stream. It's been an honor. Well, hey, it's been fun, you know? And I hope you guys will tune in, what, tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow. We'll do something tomorrow. No idea what. But we'll figure out something. It's probably going to be Dark Tide, because I just want a Dark Tide. Anyway, take care.